Hello and welcome to the IRT Network. John Scott along with Brian. You say Pineda. I say Pinata. It is time for the matchup I've been looking for since I saw he was in the draw. Looking at it, seeing Tony Carson. We have not seen Tony Carson in quite a long time. Several events. Good to have him back. Formerly of Colorado, now lives in Eugene, Oregon, doing some farming here in Oregon. And got a chance to talk with him last night. And super excited about seeing him here playing one of his best friends on earth, and that's, of course, Charlie Pratt. Woo. Brian Pineda, how excited are you for this matchup?
I'm very excited, John. These two match up very well together. Charlie, a fantastic control player with great agility with his feet. Tony Carson, a very, very quick first step. Just a very exciting backhand. Overall exciting player, so both of them are. So this should match up very well. Like I said, two different styles. One more aggressive, the other one a lot more control and patience. So we'll see how it goes. I think the last time they matched up, I think Charlie got the last say, but they've definitely swap around with one another. So excited, John.
Yeah, I am too. You know, getting to see Tony play is a treat for several reasons. He just fell out of the top 8 a month ago, but you know, I remember seeing him play when we first started the IRT network, and Jason Menino watching him play, and Jason giving him the highest compliment I've ever seen, which was Tony Carson is going to really be a fantastic player if he keeps going. Now, Tony retired to work full-time in the telecommunications industry. He left that industry to move here to Oregon once again and become a farmer. And we've not been able to see him that much, but he is still a very good player. And Charlie will have his hands full here.
Absolutely. Look at that, just an exciting shot. Granted, we're early, and both these guys are playing like spry chickens, but I imagine this to be the entire time. I'm going to call it right now, John. I'm going to go 14-12 in the 5th game.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. Good authoritative shot. Normally, I would say Pratt would win this because he's a hometown favorite. Now Tony's living here. I can't really tell you who's going to win that 14-12. They're both hometown heroes here in Portland, Oregon. Tony a little farther down south. Charlie living live in the Portland arena. Look at that. Beautifully struck backhand right there from Charlie Pratt. And I cannot hear a score from the referee at all. Zero two, okay. Tony's going to get his first point coming up here. I can feel it.
That's a good pickup from Pratt. Another good try. Looked like he was going to get there, but doesn't.
That is great effort. I like to see that from him right away. And honestly, John, because of how these two match up and because they do battle all the time, they cannot start off this match just saying, okay, I've got to warm up into it. What Charlie did right there, getting after it right away, it's the right thing to do. You saw Tony dive right away. They both have such respect for one another and their capabilities, so it's good to see. Missed opportunity from Tony there. 2 serving 1. Pratt is back in the box. Great wraparound serve from Tony, or from Charlie. Tony recovers well. That's good stuff right there. It's good hustle. The hometown fans here to cheer on their hometown club pro, Charlie Pratt, and the newest member of their family, Tony Carson. John, when Tony was playing full-time, what was his attribute that you enjoyed watching the most?
He's a tough player. On the court, Tony is really a tough, solid player, very physical. He's not afraid to put his body on you. He's not afraid to bump. He's not afraid to really grind it out with you.
Right.
And his backhand ability, he's a fantastic doubles player. Shoots backhands very well. And on his backhand side, at the intermediate part of the court, he's pretty legit. It's tough to beat. He hit some nice backhand kill shots from that intermediate side. Very solid. On his forehand side, though, he seems to rush a lot of shots. He always has. He seems to skip some shots that he shouldn't, especially when he's on the move. That's just kind of the scouting report that I've seen. I've seen some of that here already, but either way, he's a very physical player with a fantastic backhand.
Great serve and good finish from Charlie Pratt. He gets it going at 3-1. And this is the stadium court number 10 here at the Multnomah Athletic Club. Quite possibly, I've almost been to, let's call it just under about 500 health clubs, most of them being LA Fitnesses, but throughout the United States, and this one by far has my attention. I think it's the best club in the United States as far as the dynamic of it. I'm very biased to the Belmont Athletic Club, obviously. That's my personal favorite club, but as far as where to play for a tournament and the history and the lineage for how long they've been running tournaments, this is the Tournament of Champions. And like I said, just Hank Marcus is here. He's a tour commissioner back in the day, now just a huge promoter of the game. This, to me, is the best place to play.
Yeah, you know, this is one of the top courts, or top clubs in the country. From a size standpoint, it's kind of hard to do it justice just talking about it. We have a timeout on the court, but we'll keep it right here at 5-1 in the first. So they have 4 courts. They have this glass court, 2-wall glass. Then they have 3 courts behind us with glass walls. And then if you go out of this particular room, go down a long hallway, they have courts 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And they're all in their own little like theater setting,
right,
with stadium seats and glass back wall. You can sit in there and only hear that match. You can't hear the matches next to you. And then you leave that, and then you go to court 6 or court 7, and it's like going into a actual theater. It's its own environment. You can't see anything else other than that court. Super interesting. They have the same thing with their squash courts. They have multiple squash singles courts, multiple squash doubles courts, and there's several floors here. I believe, what is it, a 5-story, 6-story building with a soccer arena at the front desk. When you walk in, there's a huge glass wall, and the club is part of a giant soccer arena that holds something like 25,000 people or something like that. It's really, really crazy.
Tennis courts on top of the building, so you can literally be playing tennis while watching a professional soccer match. Only in Portland. That was a pretty decent serve from Tony, and authoritative forehand down the line from Charlie Pratt. Scores 5, serving 3. Charlie Pratt serving, going for drive serve to the forehand. 6 serving 3. Pratt going for another drive serve. This time it goes to the backhand. We get a short call there from head referee Jordi Alonso.
Jordi in his first match earlier today lost in 3 to the number 2 asterisk player on the tour, the number 1 player of all time. And of course, we're talking about Drew Katchik. I'm just kidding.
7 serving 3. As we're headed into a just under 11-minute match so far. Pratt misses a pretty elementary shot there. Heard the thunderous footsteps of Tony Carson charging. That's a great serve from Tony and a beautiful finish. Great rotation there. We had it on the perfect camera for that. You saw him stay low on his legs. Good separation, nice far apart so he could fully rotate.
Tony Carson is 5-1 lifetime against Charlie Pratt. That one was the last time they played. Tony Carson 1-0 against yours truly. Carson is also 2-0 against Cliff Swain. Some interesting stats once you kind of get and look at some of the people that he has beat. The person who has beaten Tony the most, who would you think?
Who's beaten Tony the most?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I'm going to go with Alvaro Beltran.
No.
What is their head-to-head?
It is, whoops, I just hit the wrong button. Tony has lost 11 times to Kane Waslinchuk and 11 times to Rocky Carson.
Okay. It's interesting. I could see him actually playing pretty well against Tony. 2 opposite kind of game styles as well, but Rocky Carson, obviously, what he's accomplished in the sport, knows how to change his game up with players like Tony.
For you guys in the chat box, Tony Carson has, here's a trivia question. Tony Carson has 1 win over the current top 3 players. Who is the top, who is that, and when did that happen? So don't guess, Brian, because you probably know it, but Tony Carson has 1 tour victory against either Rocky Carson, Alvaro Beltran, or Kane Waslinchuk. Who is that, and when did it happen? Tony's not even going to get up to get that second shot. People are trying to think, who is that? I'll give them a second to think about it, and then William, you are actually right, but not when Kane was a team. Tony Carson has 1 win at the top 3, and that is against Kane Waslinchuk, and that came from a forfeit win in Garden City, Kansas in November. Kane entered the tournament, won his round of 16, and then had to forfeit due to an ear injury. Kane is 0-11 against Rocky, 1-11 against Kane, and 0-6 against Alvaro Beltran.
9-7. Charlie putting some good pressure on Tony right now. Tony leaving a few balls up. And Charlie with his first game point here at 15 minutes. It's a great backhand down the line. Here you're going to see a lot of the pros exercising the right down the left side, as when you shoot that left side, it's an all glass, and it really deters the depth and the visibility of the ball, and it sends a secondary shadow. Very hard to move correctly. That's an excellent get.
Scrambles out of the way. Tony sails that one. Pratt with an opportunity. Tony with a great pickup. That somehow didn't even hit Charlie.
Wow, this is good stuff.
What a great rally.
That's the good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let's hear it from him. So much history. I encourage everyone who get the chance in your racquetball journey to travel to the Multnomah Athletic Club. It's just awesome what they do for their program here. Like John said earlier, multiple courts, multiple glass courts, stadium, championship court, 2-tier level for viewership, marketing dating back as the late 70s, from posters and players' autographs up on their stadium court. They have acknowledgement of their junior, whether they be national world champions. And then obviously you see all the sponsors of this event. They have their club title trophies up on the wall. It's just a real great racquetball field here. Great destination for racquetball. Charlie Pratt here going for opportunity number 2 to close this out at 10-8. Number 8 seed. Trying to strike first. Tony to the ceiling. Pratt backs up. Leaves that one up. Tony gives him another shot again. And Pratt just barely skips that. Big break for Tony. As Charlie had opportunity in Plum County to put that one down. Nevertheless, good effort from Tony to get himself back in the box. 8 serving 10.
Pratt back deep, forces that one, but Tony is right there, and then Pratt with a skip right off the racket.
Charlie has not used his timeout yet, and he will not do it now. 9 serving 10. Here on the IRT and Tier 1 events, actually in any tier level event and Grand Slam, you're entitled to 1 timeout per player per game. 1-minute timeouts, and just like that, Tony returns the favor, recognizing just a little misstep in his footwork. Let's see if he can get tough here, or if Charlie Pratt will close this out for a 3rd chance. Wow. Great response.
Big point here for Tony. And Tony has been out of the game for a while.
Wow.
Finds an ace there. This game, would you agree, Brian, is far more important for Tony than it is for Charlie?
In certain instances, yes. Yes, it is. I mean, Tony today is potentially going, not potentially, he literally is going up against a guy who's continuously played the tour this season. He's played just as long, if not a little bit longer. So the edge really should be going towards Mr. Pratt. So in that sense, it would be more important for him not to lose. It's kind of his match to win or lose. But it would do leaps and bounds for Tony and his confidence now that he's not playing more and he's focusing on what his life goals are and what he wants to do with life outside of racquetball. But it would be a big win for him, just considering the amount of court time he's taken off. But both these guys, as we talked about earlier, neither one of them wants to lose. Tony has the edge. When you're talking about that, John, Tony does have the edge head-to-head.
I'm sorry, Brian. I was answering chat box stuff.
10-10. 10-10.
10.
On the head
10 scoreboard. They have a scoreboard here, an electronic scoreboard, but the ref doesn't know how to use it, so.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's a great Z serve.
Not a bad time for that. Tony signaling us here at home. Having good fun out there. Both these guys, great character.
He was saying, what am I supposed to do with that? Pick it up and throw it? Big serve for Pratt. Another wrap. Tony shoots that one down the line, and a great diving, down on one knee, gets that. Pratt takes game 1. We'll be back in just a moment. More great racquetball action coming your way live right here from Portland, Oregon. This is the IRT Network.
There are no shortcuts to the top. Do you have what it takes? Desire is something within you, and only you. For when the ground falls from your feet, will you be the one to rise up? It's a long road to the top, but that's just what it takes to become pro.
I'm the sound guy.
Oh yeah, you are the sound guy.
Soundboard.
I just had to thank Charlie Pratt and everyone to know he's fanning me just so well right now.
It smells a lot like
I thought I was
Pratt.
a fan.
Pratt playing with Echelon Racquetball rackets. Tony Carson with the head sticks on the court. Very good friends. They've been friends for 10 years. They met when they were 2.
Oh yeah, John, that was some good insight.
Charlie Pratt, the official of the IRT.
You question that
It's a question mark at the end of that.
We'll see about that.
I'm not sure what to think.
I'll tell you what I think. I'm thinking about some Jake's Crawfish. Can't wait to get there. It's downtown Portland, one of the best restaurants here in Portland.
In Missouri, we call those Missouri lobsters. We're live at the Tournament of Champions, and I know what you're asking. So if Kane wins this tournament, is he the #1 player in the world? No! Why would he be? This is a Tier 1 prize money event with Tier 2 points, so the top 8 players are not going to get the same amount of points. William says go to Voodoo Donuts. He says they are simply the best.
I heard, Tony, I got to say, I heard about a new place from some of the local looks of Portland, and they say that Blue Star Donuts is better.
Blue Star Donuts.
And I'm sorry, John, but I have a hard time waiting minimum 40-45 minutes in line. The line wraps around at Voodoo Donuts for 10 seconds of pure joy.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not like you can get a
Sounds
dozen
like my
donuts, because then
honeymoon
you go
night.
into a cardiac arrest, and that's not fun. So it's just not fun for me. I don't know.
Well, you know, I
Not worth
didn't.
the wait.
I wasn't sure that was fun either, but that same exact time frame sounds like my honeymoon night.
Oh boy.
That just happened.
The 10 seconds part, or?
Yeah. The 45 minutes, waiting 45 minutes. Hey, John Clay is in the chat box. What's up? Oh, hey, Joplin, Missouri. Chris, I didn't know you were in Joplin.
John Clay, it's great to see you. That's my best Christopher Walken. And
Oh, that's who that was?
yeah.
I thought you were having a
I thought
stroke.
I nailed it. Sounded good in my
No.
earphones. Not quite.
No,
Okay.
no, not at all.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, so Chris is there in Joplin. You know who else is from Joplin, Missouri?
Joplin,
Scott
Missouri.
Joplin is not the answer. But Josh Tucker is.
Oh, go get him, Josh Tucker.
Former top 8 player in the world.
You want to hear a fun fact about him?
I probably have as many as you do. Fun fact, Josh Tucker, go.
He is the current world, half of the current world #1 championship outdoor team right now. He's the reigning champion for the world championship.
Okay. My fun fact is that he's allergic to peanut butter but likes hot dogs. That's
okay.
Fun. That's a fun fact.
So that peanut butter basket I got him, that he didn't. He probably
going to
threw it
put
away.
him in shock.
Okay.
Way to go. Trying to kill Tucker.
I can see why he took that the wrong way.
Oh, and he hits the ball real hard, according to to Chris. He absolutely does.
He punishes that ball.
He's one of the top players ever to come out of Missouri. There's a couple other ones that you may have heard of that are from Missouri. Martin Hogan, something like that. Marty Hogan. He was good back in the day.
Marty Hogan, I believe you're referring to.
Yeah, there's some cool pictures or some posters on the wall. Super historic stuff from the 80s and 90s. I'm going to get some pictures of them and put them on Facebook. This used to be the site where Hogan and Yellen would come in, and they would have big battles. And it would just be, the whole event would be one match, and it would be Marty Hogan and Mike Yellen. And so Hogan, Yellen, there's 3 or 4. They even did it on closed circuit television, like the big boxing matches. Just the one match, though. No undercard, no other, just that. And there's some really cool pictures of them over on the wall. We'll get some shots and put them on Facebook. There's also a cool display case. I got some pictures last night of basically a walk through history on racquetball. Some old racket. Isn't that cool? I got some pictures of that. We'll put it on Facebook as well so you guys can see it. What are Shane Vanderson and Jack Cusack doing now that they aren't playing on tour? Shane lives in Tampa, and he's a full-time real estate agent down there.
We should call him Mogul now. I hear he's doing really well.
He is actually doing very good, yeah. He is, the last I talked to him, you know what, I talked with him at the Sarasota event. He was planning to go down and then had a business thing that popped up. He had to close on the largest deal that he had, at that time, had sold. So it was a great time for him, but he was caught up in that. So yeah, Shane is down there. He does not really play much anymore. From time to time he does, but there's a huge skip from Pratt. But he does not play too much. Jack went into the telecommunication industry. He retired 3 years ago, mid-season, and still lives in Texas and is working for a telecommunications company as a sales manager or a sales rep, something along those lines.
And I believe Josh Tucker, speaking of people who are going out, he works in Newport Beach, good clientele there, and I know it's within the medical industry. I know at one point, if he is not still now, dealing with pacemakers and machines for that setup with the doctors. I get the occasion to play with him once or twice in outdoors, so we kind of get to talk a little bit, and I know from talking with him, he does very well with what he does. But no surprise, you think about it, these are guys who are top in the sport, so top at what they were committing to in their life. It's just that secret they able to unlock. They take it to another field and they're able to do it. So it kind of tells you about their character without having seen him play. And then you hear about how they're doing in work. You can kind of imagine that they were just as good, if not better.
Absolutely. Carson on the scrambles, got that down the line. Charlie leaves his feet, but can't get the ball up. There's a lot of Kane chatter going on in the chat box about Cliff beating Kane, and you're right, Cliff did beat Kane back. That was a great serve. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when Cliff was kind of at that pinnacle and Kane was on his way up.
fun fact. I think I've shared it before, but I'll do it again in case we have new. Actually, I know we have new viewers out there. But Kane's first tournament that he played made the quarterfinals, where he ended up losing to Kane. But
William in the chat box, you're exactly right.
That's a beautiful shot from Pratt there. Yeah, it's interesting when you look at any of the top players and when they were not top but on their way up, and it's happened throughout the lineage of racquetball. We had Dr. Bud for a while, and then Charlie came up. And then Charlie got the right training, and then he basically was the door that allowed Hogan to be the dominant during his era, and then Hogan opened that door for Swain. Swain opened that door for players like Sudsy, who was dominant during his time, but also Jason got in there, mixed it up with the #1 year-end finishing. Ruben Gonzalez was in there. And then now you see players like Rocky Carson, Jack Cusack, who got to finish #1 in the 2000s, and then now Kane. We always knew he was there. Took some time to prep his game, and now look where he's at.
If you could watch any two players healthy and in their prime at any point in time play each other, who would it be?
I think just because I've had the privilege of playing both of them, not Charlie Brumfield in racquetball, but in paddleball, and just the way he coached me, he's definitely my #1 that I'd want to see play in their prime. He just did just what he could make his opponents feel on the court, and the will that he would impose on his opponents, and the fact that he had 181 IQ, you just want to see that kind of level of intelligence on the court. The other one, because of
Brumfield playing
the guy who I think every rally he gives 100%, Cliff Swain.
Oh, cool.
That matchup, I think I could watch all the time.
You know, I think that would be a fantastic matchup. If I could do the same thing, healthy in their primes, I would take Mike Guidry and Ben Croft and want to watch them play each other. I don't know if you ever got to see Guidry play.
Oh, I did.
The guy was a machine. He dove as much or more than anybody I've ever seen. He's kind of an underrated player now. Not a lot of people talk about him, but he was one of the quickest players to ever play the game, and threw his body around the court in a very similar fashion than Ben did. So that'd probably be something that would be fun to watch. Also, a 19 or 20-year-old Sudsy Monchik against Kane Wasselinchuk. That would be fantastic to watch as well.
I've got to say, some of my favorite videos are actually of Sudsy, but it's when the times that I got to watch him. I didn't see every single of his matches, but the ones that are available, it's when he was rolling out that ball, because when he rolled the ball, there's you see it with Kane. Actually, Kane does it just as well, but Sudsy legitimately went for a roll at every time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very Brett Harnett-esque, where it was just bottom board or nothing. So yeah, Sudsy is pure entertainment.
A lot of people didn't get to see Mike Ray play back when he was #1. I would like to have seen, like a Mike Ray versus Alvaro Beltran. It may be a little boring, not too sure, but I think that would be fun. To have two super control players battling each other as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and plus, I could never say any match of Alvaro Beltran will ever be boring. You could put the most boring person on the court with him, and it's still going to be pure entertainment.
It depends. Yeah, I think it depends. I got to say, the Alvaro Beltran in the round of 16 and the Alvaro Beltran in the quarter, semis, and finals are quite different.
Oh, yeah.
But Alvaro has said there's a lot of times where he looks at the round of 16 as his practice. And there are times where he doesn't purposefully lose, but he also doesn't purposely win.
Right.
In the round of 16, especially with different courts, and it takes him a while to get used to that arena, the bounce, the views, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 6 serving 4 here, and we are at, let's see. Let's hold off on it just a few more seconds, and yep, there it is. We are 35 minutes into this match, and right at 35 minutes, Pratt decides to skip one for us.
Chris wants to know, what was Jack Newman's game style? Jack was very similar to Tony Carson. He never quite broke the upper echelons, but he was always a fantastic player, had some great matches with some great players, and was one of the best teachers of the game that I personally ever met. And but he was very similar in style, a little smoother, I think, than Tony, but very similar to Tony. Chris also says Louis Vogel could move the ball. If you've never seen Louis play, I saw him play for the first and only time about 3 years ago at a CPRT thing, and yes, he looks like a banker, and then he gets on the court and he can spray the ball around pretty good.
Oh yeah, he shoots. He reminds me a lot of Andy Roberts in the sense of when they set their feet, they're some of the best in the business, like a Michael Bromfeld.
Mm-hmm. Freddie Ramirez with Restrung Mag says Daniel De La Rosa at his age versus a 19-year-old Sudsy. That would be a good one. That'd be like two bumblebees in the court. It'd be very similar to De La Rosa Rojas, but probably stepped up even more. Hey, that reminds me, Restrung Mag, search him online and go there. We always talk about supporting people who support us and people who are doing things for the love of the game. And Freddie is not an advertiser of ours. It's not. This isn't a plug that I'm trying to, please an advertiser, which I'm not afraid to do. But check him out. Go online, check him out, support him. He is a non-biased person who is just a stinking nice guy who does a fantastic job with racquetball content, writing stories, bringing some provocative thoughts to the forefront, and refuses really to get political with any group. When we've had our public political spats with different people, he voices his opinion, but he doesn't really take sides, and I appreciate that, and appreciate guys like Freddie, who's out there doing God's work in racquetball, if you will. He's just really doing a great job, and he's a fantastic photographer, a blogger, and really appreciate guys like that in the sport.
Absolutely. Tony Carson back here in the service box, game number 2. Doing a great job of staying close with Charlie Pratt, and wow, what a finish that was. Good forehand, authoritative right in the service box where he needs to be. Plays nice and close to the front wall. With his quick reactions, it just plays into his game.
I was asked a question, or the question's asked, where has Tony been? Tony went to work in the telecommunications industry as well, working with, I can't remember the name of the company, but working on data collection, data mining, data collection, that kind of thing. And that was in Colorado. He did that full time before moving to Eugene, Oregon about a month ago, and he is now a farmer. And still a fantastic racquetball player.
It really is. I mean, you're watching this, I said, Charlie, having played consistent and playing more of the guys and just keeping that fine-tunedness to his game. Tony taking time off to develop his garden, which, I mean, not just his garden, but his property. 26 acres of land. There's wild animals, there's trees, there's running water. It's really cool. So that's obviously taking time, and he's been doing that. You wouldn't think he'd be keeping it this close. 12-10 the first game. It's 7-6 here in the second. It's just good stuff. I mean, just goes to show you what kind of athlete as opposed to a racquetball player that Tony Carson is. Just
Tony
phenomenal.
takes a timeout. We'll take a break and be right back. More great racquetball action coming your way live right here on the IRT Network.
And that's a perfect commercial for us to do an intermission timeout there from Tony Carson. We want to thank ProKennex and Mike Martinez, president of ProKennex, for sponsoring this illustrious tournament known as the Tournament of Champions. As John said earlier, posters ranging from as late as the early 80s up on the wall here. Very prestigious tournament, and also highly spoken by all the players who have participated. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of Mike Martinez, some cool information I want to pass along. ProKennex and Wear Rollout have teamed up.
It's dirty.
They're going to be debuting some great apparel coming up soon. It's a brand new partnership between Rollout and ProKennex. ProKennex has partnered with Rollout, Racquetball's leading lifestyle apparel brand, to bring the first ever ProKennex licensed merchandise to the market for the loyal fans of the ProKennex brand. This apparel will officially launch on Monday, this coming Monday, and be seen for the first time in about a weekend at an event in Colorado. Rollout is honored to be a part of the ProKennex family and is excited for this new partnership. So congratulations to John Clay and Mike Martinez for doing a fantastic job and working together.
Tony performing a little gamesmanship on the court there. I like that. Great dig from Tony. Charlie in Plum County puts that one down. Tony doing a good job. We're only allowed 1 point since the timeout. 9-6 is the score.
John Clay has a care package for yours truly. Woo! Heading my way.
That's what I'm talking about. I know when you said ProKennex and roll, I said, well,
that's like peanut butter and jelly.
Yes, I love PB&J.
I can tell. Tony Carson doing a horrible job of trying to sell a skip.
10-6, Charlie Pratt. With his game number 2 point here.
Predicting a Z serve or a wrap. Like I said, straight into the forehand side. Tony down the line. Pratt leaves his feet. Tony's got an opportunity down the line. That is the Tony Carson backhand right there. My goodness, that's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's a real thing of beauty. Pratt's going to come out, dry up the court here. Take this time to thank some of the sponsors here up on the wall. Of course, we have Rollout Racquetball, Racquetball Warehouse, Echelon, Head, ProKennex, Dunlop. Also, Emery and Kerrigan Inc., your insurance specialist. Pacific Coast, the fruit company. And also Ovations, where everything's fresh. John, what's tickling your belly right now?
Chris Pierce in the chat box says this is going to be the most competitive 3-game match in history. I love that.
I called this in 5. It's going to be tough. Skipped it. Ooh. Seven serving 10.
The Z serve back deep. Oh, the ball almost catches Pratt as Tony has to get out of the way of that one.
There's a nice spin move
It
there.
was very agile.
I think if we cut that and make a demo tape, we could probably send that into Dancing with the Stars. I think Tony would probably win.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Pratt with a nice rollout. Doesn't count when you're serving, though. Second serve coming up.
Speaking of rollout, make sure you visit wearrollout.com. for all your apparel needs.
Every time you go to wearrollout.com, you don't even have to buy anything. Just go there. Wear Rollout pays the IRT network $100. Is that right, John? Yes, 100. Just by going. Just go.
That's quite the budget he has over there.
Well, he's the leading apparel company.
That's what happens.
He had one shot to get it right, and he got it right.
And the next company behind him, Nike.
I'm going to need John Clay to start making shoes.
Smart. Very intelligent shot there from Charlie.
10-7 is the score in the second game. As you can see on the scoreboard, Pratt won the first 12-10. He's going to have an opportunity right here. Oh, and he skips it. He was back deep trying to force a shot. Feeling it, but comes up a little bit Menino. I mean, short.
Are you excited for Star Wars to come out? I am.
What? Where did that
Carson
come from?
Right now.
Sure.
What
Pratt up top, good get. Tony's going to put this down, though.
That's good stuff. Pratt's a little frustrated right there. He's kind of been stuck on 10, but it's...
Here's a trivia question for you and everybody at home. Tony Carson has the most wins on tour against who?
It's not me.
Yeah, you guys have never played.
Charlie Pratt.
Correct. Good job, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Very excited to be here. Daniel De La Rosa, thanks for joining us. Thank you, buddy.
8 serving 10. Oh, what a serve from Tony. Couldn't have come at a better time.
Oh, sorry, Joe. Just saw that. He's looking for information. Nobody can give me information on him. Who's him?
Who is him?
Looking for him.
Oh, no.
Carlos. It says Keller Vargas. Keller Vargas. He is, I think he lives down in Mexico or South America somewhere. I have never seen him play. I have heard the name quite a bit. I don't believe that I've seen him play a pro stop, but I do know that he has a couple international wins over Alvaro Beltran. I'm sorry, Joe, that's about all I know. Oh, Bolivia. Okay. Oh, hey! Ben Croft is in the chat box. Ben Croft had season-ending shoulder surgery back in April. It appears as though he is he's doing good. See, at least pictures on Facebook. But if he's able to come back, it's a 6 to 9 month window of when he can come back. And I got to tell you, if anybody can come back, it's going to be Ben. We'll talk about that injury and some comments from Ben when we come back. But we're tied right now, 2 games apiece, 12-10, 12-10. More great racquetball action coming your way right here, IRT Network. Woo.
Just want to let you guys know before these players get back on the court, our next matchup is going to feature Alvaro Beltran and Andre Parrilla, brother to
I like it when you roll your
famous LPRT top-ranked player Jessica Parrilla, also a very famous name in Mexico as a sports commentator. Anyways, those two will be matching up. And following them, our last round of 16 that we'll showcase for today is going to be Kobe Owasi and Jose Rojas. And when that match comes, we'll have a lot to talk about that is two guys that'll be battling it out for that number 1 position, no doubt about it. But right now, we're going to get to the third game of what I thought was going to be a barn burner, and thus far, John Scott, my prediction holding true as they swap at 12-10 each now having 1 game. Tony Carson reaching for a piece of pizza. Pratt reaching for an organic vegetable. Who will win this match?
Well, I got to go with meat. Substance-wise, I'd have to go with meat versus organic vegetables.
Right.
But Charlie Pratt is the OG. Organic vegetable. OV.
Oh, yeah. Tony Carson calling a barn burner. I already called it. I said 14-12 in the 5th.
I predicted the most competitive 3-game match we've ever seen. Actually, I can't take that. I'm going to steal that, though. I think that was Chris who said that in the chat box.
So that's what's coming up. And then at 5 o'clock, I believe, on West Coast time, we start the quarterfinals. So we'll have about an hour intermission, depending on how long that last match takes in the round of 16 between Colby and Jose. And then immediately following them, like I said, we'll have a short break, and then we'll have 4 quarterfinal matches. So this is Freaky Friday, and it's going to get freaky here in Portland. Why? Because it's Portland, John. There are weirdos here, and we love weirdos.
Speaking of weirdos, just got this news flash. The Boston Marathon bomber just got sentenced to the death penalty.
Well, and that's that.
That's a complete weird segue, but you know, it is what it is.
Did I tell you I'm excited for Star Wars?
Yeah, randomly you did.
Well, here we go. This is game number 3. I'd say next to this match, not that the other guys aren't going to be entertaining, but as a fan, I think this match and the Kobe Wasi Jose Rojas match are going to be the 2 to really tune into as far as going the distance. No doubt, Alvaro Beltran, as we said earlier, is going to showcase some good stuff. Andre Barria making his debut on the show court here. Good on him making a run of 16. Always good to see the young ones battling it out.
What's up, Brad Williams? Posting something on the chat box. I'm afraid to click on it, Brad. It's a virus. Just kidding, it's not. It's from R2. Hey, don't forget ProKennex Finals. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Charlie Pratt and Brian Pineda will be bringing you all the action, and probably Tony Carson as well. I will not be here. I'm going to celebrate my daughter's 11th birthday. Excited about that. She doesn't even know I'm coming home. She thinks I'm going to be gone. And looking ahead on the schedule for this weekend, you're right. Kobe Awasa, Jose Rojas at 2 o'clock. The winner of that is going to take on the winner of Camacho and Daniel De La Rosa. Probably going to be De La Rosa. Either way.
Camacho's playing good right now.
Yeah, that group, Rojas, Awasa, Camacho, De La Rosa, that's some play right there.
Right.
So the quarterfinal for that is scheduled to start at 8, and that will be the last match. On paper, you would say Rojas and De La Rosa, but really, Camacho's playing fantastic, as good as he's ever played. Kobe Awasa is, if you've never seen him, he's wonderful to watch. I cannot wait to watch that match. So be sure to be there. Just think though, the winner of the Rojas Awasa match is going to have to play turn right around and play again tonight in the late match, and then the winner of that match plays the first one tomorrow morning.
It's tough. It's part of the prestige of playing on the International Racquetball Tour. It doesn't always have to be cupcake pretty. We like to, not we, the IRT likes to handle the business the way they do, and I think it works out.
Yeah, a lot of people like the Saturday final. We're seeing more and more and more of them. I think personally it's good for several reasons. not just at the event, but folks watching at home. When we have Sunday finals, for example, out on the East Coast at 12 o'clock, that's 9 o'clock on the West Coast, which is the biggest market for racquetball. And it's kind of early in the morning for a Sunday morning final.
Heard that.
Wow.
Ooh, good
That's
footwork.
a good shot.
That's good footwork. 0-3. What a lead for Tony Carson to come out to here in game number 3. It's just good stuff.
So by this time next year, Brian, you will be more than likely privy to a new John Scott business venture.
Oh.
It's actually underway. We just received word from the U.S. Patent Office earlier this week that the that the trademark is filed, completed, registered, and accepted, which was the big one. We passed patent and trademark laws in the United States and internationally, so we're excited about that. What is the new business, you ask?
What is it?
I was with a friend of mine. We were sitting smoking a cigar and drinking some port wine, which is what I call a good night. And out of nowhere, I said, I have the best name ever for tequila. And he said, oh yeah, what's that? And I said, how cool would it be if there was a name of tequila called Tequila Mockingbird? And it went from holy moly, that's funny and kind of original, to we have the trademark, we have the licensing, we have the logo, and the summer we'll be in Mexico working with the distiller.
Well, you know where you have to go to get anything that's called tequila, right?
That's where we're going to be. 100% agave.
Where do you have to go for that, John?
I can't even wait to show you the bottle. Here, I could show you the bottle now, actually. Actually, yeah, I'll show you the bottle. Just don't show anybody else. Anyway, so.
Great to see you socially, sir.
Hey, Alvaro Beltran's going to be on court number 7A, which is on the roof.
Yeah.
We're going to FaceTime him into the network, though. So anyway, yeah, we're excited about that. So be looking for Tequila Mockingbird coming to stores near you, hopefully this time next year.
I'm glad to read on the chat box from Andrew Kapik that it's clean.
I'm not even sure what he's talking about, but it is clean. I'm gonna say
it was that link that you called a virus.
Oh, I was gonna say the feed. The feed should be clean. There's 95 megs upload here.
It's always interesting. Talk to some of the people that have issue with the feed at times. They say it's choppy, and I said, well, what are you watching? They said Windows 95, and I said, there's an issue.
You can't get the IRT network on an 8-track player, people.
Believe it or not, you actually have to have updated equipment so you can enjoy your product.
Speaking of updates, should we talk about some of the plans for next season, or wait?
Ooh.
That's a good pickup.
Who do they involve? Maybe we should get those people that those plans are involved on the air.
You're not one of them. I'm just kidding.
Well, then I don't want to talk about it.
So next season, there's going to be more of this guy, Brian Pineda, less of this guy, John Scott.
And then?
We're working on some things. None of it's official, but the plans are having Brian Pineda and Charlie Pratt on the air a lot more, and me a lot less. I'll be at a select events, and we are going to be doing the quarters, semis, and finals. We're going to cut out the round of 16, and as of right now, and this is all subject to change, but I think it's fair. I want to get people's feedback. Everything that is live starting in September will be free. And then on demand, we're going to have a timeline where right after it's on demand, it will be the subscribers. After several months, it will go to the free side as well. so again, there's some things that have to be done, and they are done, and they're just being implemented. That is the goal, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the chat box about that. So again, we're looking at next season doing the quarters, semis, and finals, cutting out the round of 16, and then making every bit of it free that is live, and then on demand would be subscriber.
That's a great serve.
I want to say hi to Letty.
It's a good call from Jordy Alonso. Tony tried to take the first step sell. Jordy said not for sale.
Love for sale. Sorry.
If I'm hearing him correctly, now granted he has an accent, but if I'm hearing him correctly, he's saying the score is 0-6 right now.
Yes.
And I've got to say, just from watching this match, it's been nothing short of exciting that the way Tony Carson is playing, it's actually worthy of being 7-0. I just heard him very clear. Wow. What a performance from Tony. Charlie boxed himself out of that shot. Good recognition from Tony. Had about 80% of the court to shoot to. Tequila Mockingbird. There it is. It's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. I just read it myself. Signed by President Barack Obama. That's pretty cool. It's a nice endorsement. What a finishing backhand there from Mr. Carson. Tough spot right now for Charlie Pratt, realizing that Tony is shooting at a very high level. Used his timeout, so he's really kind of stuck in this court. That's a little break he needs right there. And I want him to collect himself. You can tell he's semi-frustrated as he blasts the ball at about 160 miles an hour. See if he can bear down. This crowd is here to watch him. It is standing room.
Brad wants to know what about previous year archives? That's going to be the first thing to go, and by go I mean go from subscriber to free. We're actually in the process right now of turning the archives from previous seasons, every one of them, to free. The first group that's going is going to be the U.S. Open library, not just last year, but the entire U.S. Open library from the last 3 years will be made free to everyone. And the launch date for that is going to be Friday of next week.
That's so exciting.
That is actually already done. We've already got that piece working. And so basically, obviously, it's going to be ad supported, not just ad from the inside industry folks, but we have secured, because of eNet Live and the growth that we've been able to get, we've secured enough advertising to be able to give Racquetball away, a large portion of it. Now, we still have to have subscribers, which is extremely important. And we're going to be giving more value to the subscriber from some of the other things that they are going to get, including possibly, and this is one of the things that we're working on, entry fees, discounts, etc., into pro tournaments. Not just the pro division, but if there is a tournament that we're at and you're a subscriber, we're trying to get discounts in those kinds of things. But because of the advertising agency and the deal that we've gotten with them, we're going to be able to provide a lot of the older on-demand things for absolutely free. Next week, for example, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, on the live, the thing that you're watching right now on IRT Network Live, we're going to be replaying best of matches that have been gone or you've never seen. They're going to be absolutely free for everybody, including my favorite match, probably of all time, which is Chris Crowther and Mitch Williams from Cali, Columbia.
That's a barn burner.
That is one of the most exciting matches you're ever going to see. I don't want to give it away, but you got to watch it. Other matches that we're going to be airing for free starting next week, there's an ace to end it, include the Jose Rojas Kane Waslinchuk match where where Jose won. The big brawl match with actually a couple different brawl matches where there's actually fighting going on in the middle of the match. We're gonna do some stuff that we've not had on the air or on demand for a long time. We're going to be airing those live all next week, and then they're going to be available as well, once again, as the entire U.S. Open library starting next weekend will be free for everybody. You won't even have to log in to watch it. You go, it's there, enjoy, and there'll be one 15-second pre-roll, one 15-second commercial before, and then you'll be able to skip through, watch whatever you want to watch. So that is not something we're thinking about doing. That is done and will be launched on Friday. That being said, Tony Carson up 2-1 over Charlie Pratt, and a little bit of a lopsided game after two 12-10 games.
Yeah, you kind of got to see Tony right there. Felt pretty good about getting that game 2 where Charlie Pratt had opportunity at 10-7 to close game 2 out. Nothing really wrong other than finishing the ball from Pratt. Served decent, but didn't maybe put his winning shots down, or Tony made an excellent get or finished the shot himself. But Tony turned around for himself, so good on him to have made this adjustment. I think that's the reflection that you saw in game 3, was a little frustration that Charlie didn't close it out, but Charlie is a professional, and I believe he will take game 4. That's 2 games in a row for an unseasoned Tony Carson, so fatigue will definitely start playing something here, I believe. And right there, set up in Plum County that a seasoned and a conditioned Tony Carson would put down, leaves it up, and those are the small breaks, especially right away, that Charlie needs. Beautiful finish. He's got to clean up his serve, though. I think that's a big part of his issue is that serve. He's got to utilize that left sidewall better than letting it clip the floor to the sidewall off the back. If he's going to leave it up, it's got to go floor, back wall, sidewall.
Freddie, you're right on the YouTube utilization. That's one of the big plans that we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking, and we actually have started that, but we're going to take the first game of almost every match that we do, and at the end of that game, to watch, to continue watching this match or to watch the rest of this match, etc., click here to watch and then send them into the IRT network. The round of 16s, I got to say, the round of 16 is my thing. I am the one who wants to get rid of it. Jason doesn't want me to get rid of it. Brian doesn't want me to get rid of it. I get that in the round of 16 you have matches like this. We have to, however, especially by giving so much away for free, we have to watch the expense of the business, and you have to make some of the tough decisions. I could definitely be convinced to keep the round of 16. I know there's a lot of people who would prefer have the round of 16 than have the finals. But we have to make that business decision. The round of 16 is a 5-hour block of live free broadcasts that really chews away at all kinds of issues, not just the bandwidth expense, which we've been able to mitigate because we created our own CDN, which is fantastic, but also it's another day of travel and so forth. So the cost is kind of high. I am not convinced that that's the thing that we need to do, getting rid of the round of 16, but it is on the radar. And so, for those who want to make a case for it, now is a great time to make that case.
What a display from Tony Carson. Tony Carson, for some of you that don't know, before he took on racquetball, or while he took a break from racquetball, was on the junior national team in America for rugby. That's why you're able to see him be so athletic, so powerful, have a quick step, and stay so low using his legs. Look at that. Oh.
That was called a skip.
That was
Tony,
a beautiful thing.
Not
right
happy
there.
about it.
Tony's going to clean up his mess over there where he rolled out the ball, but the ref called a skip. We'll try not to hold that against him. I want to thank the Military Racquetball Federation for being a promoter of this event here at the Tournament Champions at the Multnomah Athletic Club. And Breakside Brewery, a great brewery here in Portland. I'm actually very excited to go visit them possibly tonight. Obviously the Multnomah Athletic Club, one of the nicest, if not, it is the nicest club I've ever been to.
It's darn nice. Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the other super high-end ones, and, you got the Denver Athletic Club. Downtown Denver is a fantastic club. The Missouri Athletic Club is really, really nice. Both the Downtown Missouri Athletic Club and the Missouri West, which is where we've had the tournaments in the past. This is, I think, overall probably just a little step above because of the things that they offer. They have 4 locker rooms here.
Yeah.
They have 10 racquetball courts with
How
all
many?
glass back, theater seating. Just craziness. 5 restaurants, 4 something like that. A 20,000 seat professional soccer arena. It's really something. It's something I've never seen anywhere in the world.
Right.
The scope of this. Yeah, so people don't want the 16s to go away. What are your thoughts on that?
I understand. I totally get the need from the fans. They want to see matchups like this. They want to see matchups with, until, let's say, Colby breaks into the top 8, if that's his goals. They want to see that matchup between any of the top guys in the round of 16. They want to see young upcomers. You have one of the locals here, Wayne Anton. There's that craving for it. The matches you don't see all the time, whereas the top 8, they're pretty much guaranteed for the most part to be seen in the quarterfinals, and that can get a little redundant. I understand that, but I also understand the business side of it, and the fact that when you showcase so much racquetball the way we do, it's very easy for us to get patches of people that watch and for numbers to maybe not be where we think potentially they can be, the optimistic side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now if you limit what you're watching, not only are you watching the best of the best, but you're also planning your schedule like, okay, I only get this tournament, I get quarters, semis, and finals. That's 7 matches. I want to stay tuned. It's going to draw a bigger crowd from that sense. So I get it. I get it both ways. But maybe there's something that through this process we'll be able to find out, whether it's we pick up another major sponsor for the network, and then we can do the 16s that makes financial sense, or we get to the point maybe where there's a instead of doing the 16s, there's some kind of qualifier tour that we have. I don't know, but no way. I don't think it's a negative, especially when you talk about the things the network has to offer. As far as what they're doing, they're going to be opening up free for the tournaments, and then if you want to subscribe to, for the archives, I think that's a great thing.
I wonder from a business standpoint if, this is just me talking to everybody at home and to you, if maybe instead of getting rid of the 16s, it would be best to have the 16s, quarters, and semis free, and then the final subscriber. So what I'm worried about is where just so you guys know, I mean, we operate on the network, the IRT part, on a pretty shoestring budget, and what we have to look at is, a lot of times we can only bring one person to an event because another person is more payroll, it's more food, it's more flights, it's more hotel, so forth and so on. It just adds up. And what we want to be careful of is that if we offer the everything for free, we don't want to lose the subscribers. We can't. And we want to make sure that we increase the income. And so the more people watching, the more revenue we're going to have.
Right.
If the hot button thing is, and if one person says, I watch the IRT network because of the round of 16s, there's 30 or 50 or 100 other people who also won't say that, but that's their thoughts as well. And so if economically we can make it work, I'm completely up for making it work.
Nice shot from Charlie Pratt there.
Hey, Sal Perconti's in the chat box. Love that guy. Chris says, I'll pay $20 a month if you also do the round of 32s. That's not going to happen.
Add a couple zeros and then we can talk about it.
The round of 32s means it was an exorbitant amount of money to get places on a Tuesday night or, on a Wednesday night or Thursday morning. And it just wasn't quite possible. But, again, I have always operated the business on the racquetball side as a for the fans, by the fans, which is why I'm very vocal on Facebook and in other areas about what we're doing and about what's happening around the sport. The sport itself, regardless of how many subscribers we have or how many high-end rackets someone sells, the sport is supported by the people that we have, the fan base. And yes, there's a lot of political baloney, and I quite frankly, I'm sick of it. But what people have to understand is we don't need to keep things private, because if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't exist. We can't afford to lose 1,000 fans like the NFL can if they do the wrong thing or the right thing with Tom Brady or with Michael Vick or with whoever. If we have that same percentage say, well, I'm not going to watch racquetball anymore, I disagree with that, then we go away as a sport. And so what we have to do is we have to unite the masses. We have to unite the base and let them know what is happening. We have to let the fans at home know what's going on in the business of the sport, because they are the business drivers. And I've been ridiculed quite a bit and really questioned about why I'm so public about things, and that's because the public is what keeps my lights on. It's what brings us to these events. And when we forget that and think that we can keep things private from them, then we're hurting the sport and doing a huge injustice to the real people in the sport.
John, I like the way Charlie Pratt is shaping up his game right now. Feel just ever so gently, you feel a turning of momentum. And there it is, and Tony takes a smart timeout. He senses it as well. So we'll take a short break in the action, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the IRT Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the IRT Network. I am Brian Pineda, and she is John Scott. John, I love the fact that you can just go 20,000 words after one question. You have a gift of gab, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
Problem, buddy. 4-6. Like I said, I felt it kind of at 2 that Charlie, the momentum slightly going his way, puts down a shot and Tony gives him a shot, and now we're at 4 serving 6. Very smart player Tony Carson takes a timeout. See if it shakes it up a bit.
Yeah, you know, Tony was breathing a little bit deep there in the timeout. He's not played at this level in quite a long time. I think Davison, Michigan was the last one.
Right.
For him until this event. And I asked him last night, I said, are you back? What are you doing? And he said, no, I'm here because I live close by. And he's staying with Charlie. Heck, half of us are staying with Charlie. But he still likes the sport. But he's moved up here and he's taken an agriculture business and is doing very well with it. So good for him.
Cannot afford those right now, Mr. Pratt. He's just staged an excellent climb back into this match. Not so much a catch-up just yet. And then he gives a skip. That's the last thing he needs right now. And like you said, John, with the way he's huffing and puffing, and by he, I mean Tony Carson, that's why skips and short serves are not going to be good for Mr. Pratt.
5-7. Pratt can't lose this game or he's going to be in the broadcast booth for the rest of the event, which I wouldn't mind, but this is one of those, I like both of these guys. Hate to see either one of them lose, but whoever does, we're going to have on the air, so there's still a winner. Sound like a broken string right there. Oh, Pratt frames it. Framed into the ground. Oh, so we were talking about Croft earlier. He's in the chat box. If you have questions for Ben, feel free to ask, and he's there. Hopefully he'll answer. If not, then he doesn't want to answer your question. I'm just kidding. But he had shoulder surgery to repair a torn tendon and have a bone shaved down that had been basically irritated from years and years and years. And then he had an actual injury to that ligament in Garden City. Gee whiz, that would have been 14, I think, November of 14. And, November of 13. Holy cow. Either way, he had a surgery that most people don't come back from. He's going to be out for 6 to 9 months, and then if he returns, we will know then. And I only say if because it's just not known. Now, I said 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it again, if somebody can come back from it, Ben is that kind of guy. He's the toughest player that you're ever going to meet, doesn't hardly ever show pain unless he's in a lot of it. And so he's still, running Racquetball Warehouse. He's still out in California, and I'm sure he's enjoying some family time with the HUD and his beautiful wife, Sarah. And that's kind of the cliff notes on where he's at. Hopefully we see him back sooner than later.
7-5 here, a little lull in the action. Both players are trying to take the momentum, but each of them are playing excellent defense and not the best offense in the service box. Look at that, just not the best footwork right there from Pratt.
We do have multiple camera angles. Don't worry, it's not just this one, but Brian Pineda likes to camp on the main camera angle, and it's actually a very good wide shot. As we move into tonight, we're going to be working with the instant replay officiating. I actually have a meeting I've got to get into shortly and find out the specifics. But they will be using instant replay starting in the quarterfinals. Next season, they are looking to implement that instant replay starting in the quarterfinals. And I need to be told what the rules are and how they want that to work. So I'm going to cut away shortly and find that out.
Nine 9-5 here. Tony 2 points away from a berth in the quarterfinals. after taking more than half the season off. That's incredible. Woo! My goodness. Well, if there's ever a time for that shot to be necessary, it's going to be at 5-9 when you're trailing 1-2. Charlie Pratt, not taking full amount of time, but gets a setup here off of it. And John, I gotta say, this is ultimately coming down to, which is usually something very strong of Charlie's, but it's coming down to his footwork right now. Footwork and definitely a little bit of frustration for how well Tony Carson has played. That's nice stuff right there for Mr. Pratt. And like we said, ladies and gentlemen, we still have 2 more round of 16s to come up. Rocky Carson, Adam, and Nia are actually playing on an adjacent court right now. Following this match here on the center court will be Alvaro Beltran and Andre Parrilla. And then the last round of 16 match will be Canada's Kobe Owasa.
Brian, I just want to say, as I sit here and
Jose Rojas.
Just looking around at the fans and looking around at this great match, I felt a light. I felt like something very beautiful was around me somewhere, and I looked down at the chat box and I saw Meredith Gilbert, and I thought, that's not what I was feeling. And so I continued to look. I'm still looking, but I also want to say hi.
I wish Meredith was here. She's a sweetheart. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Carson in 4. What an outstanding display from the young lad, ranked number 9 in this tournament, taking out the number 8 seed. Well, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We have commercial breaks coming up. And also our 3rd round of 16 match featuring Andre Parrilla and Alvaro Beltran. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the IRT Network.
You miss me? I miss all of y'all.